My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
Jessie's back. Jessie's back.
For a little bit.
For a little bit. It'll be off and on because she's still in the middle of moving.
She's a busy bee.
She's a busy bee. But she decided to stop by because it's very important. Just, stop in. It's a very important episode that I know everyone's always excited to listen to, I assume. No, for the first time when I start this bit, it's not actually the What We're Watching episode. That's like the joke we make every time, but that's not it. We're doing our, 2022 year in review, sort of. Roundup, loose.
Retrospective.
Fun, retrospective.
I saw that last year we called it retrospective.
Okay,
so I was
we'll go with
look at us.
Yeah, look at us looking all fancy.
We figured that out. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hey.
So we're just, we're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about the dramas we watched in 2022 and what we really liked. And that's pretty much it. That's, it's a pretty simple concept, but yeah, so we're going to do a few different sections here. We've got some content. We got some ideas to come out. So we have one that's from around the continent where we pick a drama we watched from Korea, China, Thailand, Japan, and Taiwan. If we did, some of us may not have watched all of
the
5
places.
of the countries that are easy to access dramas from Asia, because we acknowledge there are more countries in Asia than the ones that we mentioned. However, access to the entertainment from those countries is extremely limited.
Access to hours to watch them.
Yeah, and our time is limited.
That too.
Yeah. So we're only 4 women here. Then we're going to revisit some episodes that we watched the first or couple episodes of a show, and did we finish the show? Did we like it? And then of course we're gonna do our top drama. What we liked, what we're this is the shit. This is the one. This is the one. And then also for a little spice, right? Also, it's our new artist we found this year in the musical sphere that we also really enjoyed. So that's basically what you have to look forward to today. So.
And then we'll also have a surprise, which one surprised us the most.
Well, maybe we
so
should
we'll have
also
a surprise.
talk about how our year went. So as a precursor to what our answers are going to be.
Yes.
Some of us had some different watching.
We can talk about us as people. Us. I feel like we have us as people is part of the allure of listening to
a drama watching this year, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different.
So where should we start, ladies? What are we thinking?
Do we want to do yearly overviews? Is that what we want to maybe kick off with?
Yeah. How are we going to the My Drama list? How many did we watch?
Oh shoot!
How many?
Oh,
I didn't do numbers, but I can probably count really quickly. I know I can count really quickly.
Luckily, the way my drama list is set out, you can organize it by year, so you can be how many.
Well, that's if you were watching.
Yes, but then you have to sort of guesstimate after that.
Start of the year, I always start a new custom list. This is my 2022, and then every time I finish something, I drop it in there.
I really need to do that.
See, that's smart. I didn't do that.
This was the first year I did that because I struggled in the past.
I do the Twitter threads, which will become obsolete. So I guess I should switch over to mine.
And I do nothing. I'm chaos. And I guess.
It's so hard because sometimes you watch different years, and for me personally, I don't count something that started in the year before but ends in this year as the previous years. If I can't watch the full thing in that year, it doesn't get counted in that year, so some of the shows they start in December, but they're labeled as like 2021, but like you couldn't finish them physically until 2022. So,
and then sometimes you don't remember. So as an example, and this applies to stuff that we'll be discussing. So like for instance, one of the podcast episodes that we did early on in January of 2022 was the Silent C.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was looking at my 2022 my drama list that I had created for myself, and I'm like, how on earth did I not put the Silent C up at the top? Like it should have been chronologically there. And so I was like, wait, so I had to go back to my 2021 one.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, it was near the end of that. Yeah. And I was like, wait, when did it come out? It came out December 25th.
Yeah, it was like a Christmas thing.
I of course do not remember like
I watched it on Christmas Day.
I remember that.
Like, I don't remember what days I did watch it on, but I'm like, I guess I finished it in 2021, and then we discussed it on the podcast in 2021.
Because I think I watched part of it in the morning of Christmas, and then Jessie and I watched Twilight for the rest of the Christmas day, and then I came back. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that Twilight marathon. I think we've talked about it before, but we watched Twilight. We were watching Twilight together, and we literally skipped an entire movie, and it didn't. Really. We didn't realize because it didn't change the plot of the next movie. It was like
fair. We both watched the movie, so it's not like we didn't have that context.
But there was like a slight where I'm like, man, like
it's not like you were actually missing information because you've seen it.
Like
before.
I feel like there's like a little bit, but like whatever. This was what Netflix said was the next one.
So like maybe I just like wasn't here for that part. I don't know.
Nah, it was just I'm a dumbass. So don't worry about it.
Well, that's actually something that has happened to me a lot this year with Netflix. Netflix, okay, I like Netflix, but like the way it doesn't keep my spot correctly anymore with my dramas is a huge, massive problem for me, because I do many tiny binges if I get the chance, to where I might watch 3 episodes of something and I might not come back until a few weeks later. But if it's lying to me and saying I'm 2 more episodes deep than I actually am, that's a mess. And then I'm having to rewatch or watch things that, they don't make a lick of sense. So like I have to spend a lot of time finding out where. So I might have to start like keeping
track,
a doc, a physical journal, something like timestamp episode, or putting it in my drama list or something, because I'm struggling with
my thing that happens. This is a Viki problem that I have, and a little bit Aichi, but Aichi's much less than Viki does this to me. Where I have a tablet, I have a phone, and I have a laptop, and they're all Apple products, and they all talk to each other. So say I'll start watching a show on my tablet. Okay. And then I'll pause it. I'll close down Viki because I'm going to go do something in my office. And then I'll pull it Viki up. It will not remember what episode I'm on between, like, it's the same account. It'll be like, you're on episode 2. I'm like, I'm on like episode 6.
Same problem with Cocoa has that problem, and Amazon Prime I'm finding too. Like my 2 Rokus will talk to each other. But if I dare to watch something on the tablet or the phone in between, I'll come back to the Roku and it's like, no, you're on this episode. But if I go into the episodes list, it shows me that, you've watched these. We know you've watched these. But this is the last one you watched on the Roku. So this is the one we're going to offer you. And you're like,
that's not really helpful. To me as a person watching this. Aichi does this thing now, Aichi, but only on the phone. It's sometimes we'll have working picture-in-picture, so like if you X out while you're watching it, like a little picture will show up. Doesn't work on the tablet. I don't know. I think they're like slowly working this feature in. But like when you go back like to like the app, if you're watching it, it will rewind the episode back to where you were before you went picture-in-picture. And I'm just like, what? Stop!
The thing I find Cocoa, if I try to like just fast forward, or I just want to go a little bit, right? As soon as you hit the fast forward button on the Roku anyway, it goes all the way to the end of the episode. And I'm like, that was weird. How much did I miss? And then I'm like, I missed 40 minutes. And I gotta rewind. I just wanted 30 seconds. Like, can you?
I literally just wanted to skip this boring plot line in the daily drama, but here we are. I guess I'm skipping the whole thing.
I haven't seen it on any of the other services, but Hulu does this, which now Hulu is gonna have K-dramas, so it might actually do this. But if you're watching stuff consecutively, it will like try to like figure that you're doing that, and so it like will skip the ending credits, but it just guesstimates the time. So sometimes skips like 5 to 10 minutes from the end of the episode, and like I'll be like, because it was doing that to when I did that marathon of Veronica Mars. It just kept on doing that, and I'm like, I know what happened, but like it
Stop
just
skipping.
It like stops and then skips, and then I'm like, oh.
And just a little funny end credit aside, I'm watching this show on iQIYI, and I don't think that iQIYI had the like the rights for whatever song they play over the end credits. No. So as soon as the end credit starts, it just cuts to just silence.
We're not gonna even guess.
It's just you are alone with like the little like the still images of what you just watched, just like silently staring at each other.
Like what type of show is it? Was it like a peppy show? And then all of a sudden
it's like a
thriller type silence.
So it's like a rom-com isekai show where she's like, you know, accidentally like gets hit in a car accident and then is inside like the body of the character in the book she was just reading, you know, it's that sort of thing. But like, so it'll end on something goofy and then just cut to just dead silence of just like still images of like what you just watched in the episode. And I'm like, this
like
is
have it like
unsettling
up on YouTube so you can just start playing it.
I'm like, you could just put like some sort of royalty-free music over this, like okay, whatever. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but good time. So year in review, everyone. Can you tell that it's been a while since like we were on a call with Jessie because we're all just like chaos. Okay, let's find out who watched the most dramas this year. I wonder if it's gonna be the same person it is every single year. All right, who wants to go first with their guesstimation of?
Oh, like our number of like dramas.
Let's ease into this with some data so the people know how serious we are about this.
Okay, well, are we talking dramas? Can we involve movies?
Yeah, movies, dramas, that's my list. Things that you watched.
Okay. I think I got 65 completed items. A lot of those are tiny like mini series, web series type things, and then that is that's the monthly movies that we watch with like our found family, like so that is everything. That is not just straight up. So 65 titles that I've completed. Now, as far as stuff that I have not completed, I don't have the data for that, but I can guarantee you it is probably around exactly the same amount, if not even more.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Because it's actually very, because of the way I do, it's very frustrating for me to look at my completed list and know how many hours I've actually spent.
You've got like all those like
watching
episodes here and there, and they like out like 20 more shows if you put them all together.
So like if I put all those hours together, like it's actually way more. But I mean, I can pull that. But so I have 65 titles completed. That's my number for that. If you guys want to share yours.
Right. Okay, so of shows that, according to my drama list, aired in 2022. This is definitely for Natalia.
Okay.
I have watched.
She has enough that she can do this. Aired in 2022.
I have completed 54 dramas that have aired in 2022.
Jeez.
However,
you're really like holding this podcast together on information.
Knowledge. I don't sleep and I don't have a job. This is all I do. No, I'm kidding. I do other things. Don't worry about me, people. I do other things. I'm just chronically ill and work from home.
So
don't sleep.
Talking 2022, my number is 23.
Okay. So now from the 54 that I have completed that were made in 2022, we can sort of extrapolate from that there's probably at least another 30 or so outside of 2022 completed. I have dropped no shows this year. amazingly.
Dang, girl.
And I currently am watching 14 shows concurrently, which does not include Glitch and Connect, which I plan on completely watching very soon. And I also need to pick up, there's a few that are on my on hold list that I do plan on picking up, so there's like 14 shows approximately on that. So a lot. At least 100, let's be honest. Because if it's okay, so there's 52 weeks in a year,
have
right?
to have won, right? Like,
yeah, for sure she did.
There's
well, like this was a fake contest, okay? And of course, winning when you're talking about this is have I won? Is this winning? Is this what we're gonna call it? It's been too many. The answer to this is too many.
So Jessie, what's Jessie's number? Because she has been so busy for like half the year.
Got to be the lowest. So I did 24 dramas.
That's good.
All of them before June. So
yeah,
all right.
You were cranking through.
I was, and then I stopped.
Yeah,
and then I just kept. And I probably like maybe 8 movies or so. Like, I don't know how many movies. And only 10 of those 24 are 2022 dramas.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a real competition. This is like,
it is. I'm going to be the lowest one.
But
you're like, I'm winning.
One thing I will say, what year was it, Jessie? Was it 2021 or was it 2020? When you were like, I'm gonna hit 100, and you were all about like, I went like
through,
watching all the mini series and the web series, like you were into
a lot. I'm trying to like count how many I have currently. Like, I haven't done really anything on my drama list, so like it says I'm currently watching all these things, and I just haven't updated it. But out of those things that like I've watched, at least an episode of, let's see, 1, 2. I have 13 right now, and I'm sure I like put some things on hold officially, during the year.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I have 16 on my currently watching, but that's
like,
a big
Grid.
line.
I have like 2 episodes left of Grid.
I believe in you. You'll get there.
Yeah,
you'll get there.
Actually. I mean, like, Connect is happening right now, so that will definitely be completed by the end of the year.
Very excited.
Very excited. That might be a tomorrow.
Same. I was like, what do I have going on tomorrow? And I was like, absolutely nothing. Well. So, Amanda, what about you? What's the damage? How much of your life have you frittered away?
It doesn't have to be exact. It's fine.
So I have, under my titles that I've watched this year, completed 42. 12 of them are movies. 30 of them are dramas. That's not really looking at the 2022 stuff specifically, although I watched a lot of stuff this year that was this year, surprisingly. Like, I think probably 25 of those are 2022 things, which is weird for me.
So you're doing a couple of new shows a month.
Yeah, like, and I did actually, I also start a list at the beginning of the year of everything I drop in 2022.
Oh, and
that's the same. So I have 30 dropped dramas and 30 watched completed dramas. And then I've got like 8 in my currently watching list right now. So, yeah, I read a lot this year. I set a goal for myself of 50 books for this year on Goodreads, and I am 3 books away from hitting 100. So
nice. Are you gonna make it? Do you think you're gonna make it?
I think so, because I just finished one today. So like,
there you go.
I only need 2 more. So
you can do. Listen, you got a whole month to do 2 more. You could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We believe in you.
Yeah.
I will say, as an overview of like, there was early on in 2022 for my drama watching, I just wasn't really in a drama watching mood, except for I was like getting all nostalgic, and so I went back through like my first
you were doing a
dramas
lot
and
of
stuff.
rewatches.
So I was doing a lot of rewatches, and then I went on a kick of like just a lot of old stuff. So I watched a lot of older dramas. And when I say old, okay, it's not like anciently old dramas, people. Like these are back in just
like 5 to 6 years old dramas.
Really not that old. Like
they're pre-pandemic dramas.
Like
in the before times,
and it'll be like, oh, it's just before that person's like military. Like that's really all you're really talking about. So I did a lot of rewatching, and then I did a lot of just watching a lot of older things, and that's why it's very reflective of when I look at the numbers of like 2022 stuff. I actually did watch a lot of currently airing things, or staggered like kind of after they were done, but I just haven't completed so much of what I've watched.
No.
So like an example that I want to be able to put on my list, I'm not done with Alchemy of Souls yet, season 1.
Oh, you've
so
got
I can't
too.
claim it yet. I hope to claim it before the end of this this month, but it's a lot of episodes. It's a 30 episode drama.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
What I find like my dropped list is so high, but in past years, I think a lot of these shows would have been on my completed list, because C-dramas used to do that thing where it was a 24 episode drama, but it was in 2 12-episode segments, and they're still making them that way. They're just only calling it one 24 episoder. And after 12 episodes, it changes into something different, and I'm like, nah, I'm not into this anymore. And that would have been a completed drama in a past year, but now it's a drop drama because, or like that 3 Gentle Bros. I really enjoyed the first story, the Thai one, right? But then the second story, I hate the female lead. She annoys the crap out of me. Not the actress, just the character she's playing. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this story. But like, again, in the past, GMMTV would have made this like a series, but like of 3 series,
a mini series,
it would have been 3 series, and you would have finished One Brother and notched that off as a completed show, and then you would have, you princed the next sucker, but no, and now I got to drop it and say, so
don't they know they're ruining our numbers?
Ruining the numbers.
But listen, my drama list still counts the episodes you've watched into your overall watch time. So like in it's like how many days have you spent of your life watching? Still counts.
Yeah,
still counts. And you can even put in rewatches so you can continue to have that still count.
So it is really interesting how you can put the rewatch thing in, because I've been messing with that more because I did a lot of that rewatching, and it's fascinating that lets you do that. It's pretty cool.
I always forget too. Like I also
forget too as well.
Drop shows. Like if I drop them after like a episode, I just won't even bother. Like I'll be like, I don't have the energy to like type in the search bar. Like if I do a couple of episodes, I tend to officially drop them, just because like I don't know, like I'm never gonna like pick them back up, but it's like, okay, like if I did, I'd know that I was on like episode 6. Like it's one thing, like you'd be like, I only watched the first episode, I'll remember that probably for the rest of my life, but like in episode 6, I never would.
Yeah, like the number of dramas that I'm probably episode 6 to 10 on for this year it's an astronomical amount. Like I've watched a lot that far, and I just never.
I'm also really good at like stopping watching something and then picking it back 2 years later. So like that's why like,
and you never have to like rewatch it, like figure it out, because I'll try to do that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pull a Jessie. I'm gonna like try it, and I'm sitting there going, I have no freaking clue what's going on. Like I'm so lost right now. If it's a rom-com, it's really not that hard. Yeah, but something that has a mystery to it or a thriller or something, I'm like, I don't remember anything, and that is actually a problem. Like I need to go back. Or even like Alchemy of Souls, I've had to rewatch so many of that because Netflix would confuse me on where I was, but then also I'd be like, what magical thing are we doing now? I'm so lost. Like I had to rewatch. It's for the record, for listeners, it's actually really easy to follow. Just it's easy if you just watch it chronologically. Just if you get
make sure you know where you are. Not Netflix.
I have watched episode 1 probably 3 times now because I've gotten confused, but that's okay. So do we want to do like just do we want to save our top drama for like
I feel like
the
we should
end?
save our top
so
for
you
the
have
end.
to listen to this
It's
entire
it's the climax of the show.
really
It's
like
coming.
milking.
Don't worry, stay tuned. Our top dramas are still coming after these other categories. Should we go with our most surprising drama? What drama surprised us the most? Mm-hmm. Amanda, what drama surprised you the most?
For me, I have to say it was that Taiwanese one, Mom Don't Do That. Mm. It was a wild ride. It was not exactly what I expected it to be. It was a lot deeper than I expected it to be. It had a lot, like, I cried. There were, which I was definitely not expecting from the wackiness of the posters and the previews and, trailers and stuff. And the show itself was pretty wacky. And then there's like midpoint, there's like surprise serial killer, and you're like, what? And then like, and it's wild because it's based on the author's true life story. So not being Taiwanese, like some of the things are part of, she's also an author, right? So some of the things would then come out to be part of the story she's writing or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. But like at times you're like, I don't know if this is fiction. Like if I was Taiwanese, would I remember that this was a huge, like, cultural headline that was going on at the time or something? But I don't have that, aspect.
You don't have that knowledge.
And it was interesting. It was weird, and it's largely about the author and being a middle-aged woman who's single, who, just doesn't have anything, and her younger sister who is in a long-term relationship with a guy who keeps cheating on her, and her mom who is single because their dad died so many years ago, and now she's like, I'm old and I'm lonely and I want to find a guy. So she starts going on dating apps and stuff and like just getting into the most ridiculous situations. And every episode, these daughters like, Mom, don't do that. And then, that becomes the title. So yeah, it was good. And I was surprised by how deep it was and how much I enjoyed it.
How about you, Jessie?
So for me, it's not a 2022 drama. It's a 2015 drama. Heard it through the grapevine, which was the first drama I completed this year too. And I picked it up because we were doing our deep dive on June.
My boy.
It was just like super surprising. I loved every second of it. It's a 30 episode drama, and I just blew through it. Like every night I was like going and watching like a ton of them, and I'd be like, Jessie, you have to go to sleep now. You can't just keep watching this drama. It was fun, and I liked the dynamic, and it's just like, it was goofy but also like super endearing, and like really kind of poked fun and really took a look at like, families who are rich but like also in a very realistic viewpoint. Because they're rich and they do rich people things, but they're not like, a makjang rich, like K-drama. There was like some realness to it. And I loved every second of it. I just thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember you being really happy about it being an actual dark comedy, or a black comedy, however you phrase that.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't just
about that.
Just a random comedy, like, and it just, I think it had a lot of depth in the characters, and it's one of those, like, it focuses on the two main leads are the main leads, but like you got time with everybody else too, like you got time with the family members, the brothers and the sisters and the friends and the parents and stuff, and I just liked it. It was super surprising. I was not expecting liking it as much as I did. And so I'm like glad that we did that deep dive because it picked it up.
And you would have never found how good it was.
I probably wouldn't.
Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah. That's a good thing about those deep dives. We could have forced yourself to watch something. You're like, oh.
What's great about that one is it's actually like on services and stuff. Because like it's old enough that it's kind of in that time period that sometimes it's tough to find dramas that are that age. Not that you can't find any, but like,
just
saying, especially those types of like family-ish ones. Like,
yeah. So for me, mine is, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's the recently ended drama, Love in the Air. Now, okay, stay with me on this.
Okay.
I started watching it because I have a tenuous relationship with MAME dramas. MAME being the writer of this and several other dramas, including
several other Thai BL dramas.
Yeah, Thai BL dramas, including the infamous Tharn type, which has been nothing but just I can't ever escape it. Okay, like I've seen it and now I suffer eternally. It was good though. Like,
Love in the Air was good.
Love in the Air. Tharn type, whatever. If you like it, that's fine. I've watched it, so I can't say anything. I went into this expecting garbage because I have no problem watching terrible, horrible shows. As people who listen to this podcast know, I can watch anything.
Natalia would just pick it up.
I'll just pick it up and I won't drop it, okay? Like, my entire drop list since I started watching dramas like a decade ago is like 20 shows. Like, so like, it was good. Like, she's finally learned, this writer, that if you want someone to like a male lead, maybe don't make him a rapist. So like, she's learned. She's learned.
I wouldn't put too much trust there.
No, I wouldn't. Like, I feel like someone's forcing her to learn. Because I was like, okay, these are really good. I gotta go read the novels to know what's really up. Don't bother. Just watch the show. So much better. But like, it was well acted and well filmed and like plot thin. Okay, because the plot is the romance on these. There is a plot, but it's like so. Like, they really tease you with this like underground motorcycle, like organized crime background, and then they just smooching. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, you're just like, okay, sometimes they're on motorcycles. Got it. But it was like really enjoyable, and it's one of those that what Amanda was talking about, where it's technically 2 shows, where the first 7 episodes are one show, and then the next 6 episodes are a different show, because they just have characters in common, but there's 2 different plot lines. Like, the characters and the settings are the same, but they're different shows. But the second half is so good, but big ol' trigger warning, especially for the first half. Is just about this guy who has one brain cell rubbing together and this hot bisexual with a motorcycle who gets with him, okay? Whatever. Nothing. The second half has just the most traumatized, was severely abused in every single way by his previous partner. Like, anything you can imagine that this asshole ex did to this guy was done to him. So, like, if that's not something that you want to know about, don't watch it. This is my gentle warning that, like...
So in your story of your surprise drama, you don't want people to be surprised by these trigger warnings.
I want people to be surprised by how good it is. I don't want people to have triggered emotional episodes due to sexual, physical, emotional abuse.
And when the first half is over, say, that was a great drama.
Be like, wow, like, those characters really seem like great characters, and I'd love to see, but did not pull punches, let me tell you. Not like the main, like, listen, the romantic guy that he ends up with, good dude, okay? But that ex, though, holy moly, what a piece of work. But I was surprised that I liked it. Is what surprised me about it. That not only did I like it, but a lot of people who are normally like, oh, fucking MAME shows, I can't do this right now, were like, damn, this is not bad. So if you're really anti sex scenes, it ain't the show for you. Okay, just
in case
move
the
on.
NC-17
Yeah,
was
in case that did, it's
don't
not
know what
NC.
NC-17
Listen, I'm gonna be real. It's not NC-17 for like gore and blood. Okay, like so.
And it's
do
not
with
like
that what you will.
a fake NC-17.
No,
where
it's
it's
not
like, oh, there's gay people kissing, so we're gonna call it
it's
porn.
not, listen, it's not a Viki.
either.
It's not a Viki NC-17. It's a Kin Porsche. The non-TV edit was also rated NC-17, NC-17. But you don't see any butts in this one. So if you're going in looking for butts, there's implied butts. No actual butts, implied butts. But yeah, that Love in the Air, very surprising. Very surprising. What about you, Sky?
So mine is going to be a drama that I actually didn't like all that much, but the surprise is I'm not sure that I've ever watched an entire drama because I ended up cheering for the villain the entire freaking time.
It happens.
So Bulgasol.
Oh, okay.
I forgot that this was this year.
You know what? As soon as you said cheering for the villain, I was like, I know what show this is. Yeah.
So, is it actually like an intriguing
Look at us,
show?
we picked the same actor.
Yeah.
And he was great in the show.
So, that's, if you take out Lee Jun's character, his character is named Okulte. I think he has a couple of different names in there too, because his character's been around forever. So, but if you take out that character, there would still be a little bit of mystery and stuff, but like you'd probably fizzle out before halfway in.
Yeah, I don't even.
And I argue that if you put a less good, like a different actor, same story. You'd be like, because I feel like they really let him just go with it.
Ooh,
because he was unhinged.
It makes you actually wonder, like, what part of his portrayal of this character was just him being brilliant with his acting choices, or you wonder what the director said sometimes to make him make those choices, because unhinged and brilliant.
He's just
the
so
entire
good at that type of role, though.
Like, him as a villain, or him as just a crazy person. Oh.
He was definitely not that in Heard It Through the Grapevine.
No, he was a sweet bean and Heard It Through the Grapevine. Different vibe.
Very
different vibe.
So, Bulgasol, I mean, it delivered as far as tone is concerned. If you're curious about Bulgasol and you watched the first episode, you get what you get. The gore and stuff that you're seeing from square one, that is what you're going to be dealing with. Not necessarily every episode, but like the tone, it carries. So like, that's not what was surprising to me. The tone didn't surprise me later on, which by the way, it gets even more intense as you go. But it definitely was, I kept on going, I want to root for like the good guy character. Like, I'm trying. I was really attempting to care.
You're like, I want to.
And honestly, typically, if I'm not engaging with that, and like, yeah, if I wasn't hooked on Lee Jun's character and how he was portraying that, I would have stopped watching like way earlier. But he was so brilliant, and I wanted to see what would happen to his character. So that's what surprised me. I didn't know that. I started for Lee Jun, but like I didn't know it was gonna be that much of a just watching it for him experience. Now, I am not saying like everyone else did a great job acting. They did very, very, very well. They made it very convincing. They just all felt like background characters to his character though, so
yeah.
And also his outfits were awesome. That's another thing.
What a vibe.
So yeah, that's I was shocked that I was like that I was pretty much to everyone else like, I don't care as much what happens to you. I will be sad, but I really want the villain to like be okay at this point, which I've never said that in a show before.
Join us.
Yes.
So I do believe next we are going to be doing our Round the Continent.
Around the world,
where we pick our top show from each country. Well, not each country, but from the top 5 countries that it's easy to find content from.
Little Asian drama disclaimer there.
So there are going to be two main disclaimers before we start this. One, this is not necessarily sticking to 2022. This will be
watched
whatever year. And for some of us, that it also means this happens to be the one thing we watched from this country this year.
It might be the only option.
All the way through. Like, yeah.
I mean, you heard our numbers, so it like shouldn't be that much of a surprise.
Yeah.
And at this point, we all watch a variety of stuff and a variety of
like
it's not like we're like purposely like not going places.
And we'll hook this back to an episode that we actually did discuss. So if you're curious about how we find some of these dramas that are on all these, various countries and stuff, and you're curious about all that and want to hear more about that specifically, we have an episode like Continental Exploration, I think is what it was called. And it's a really I think it's a really great episode, guys.
It's a really good episode.
And
like
because
but that one especially.
And I mean, it'll be a smidge dated at this point because all of the platforms change astronomically fast. But we do try to talk about like where you may be going to find, like, for instance, Taiwanese dramas more likely, or something like that. So if you're curious when we're talking about this, just know that you can always go back and check out that episode that we did, and you'll probably dig it. So
can we start with Taiwan? Because I feel like usually there's the least amount of dramas coming to us in terms of these countries, unfortunately, though I love Taiwanese dramas so much.
I was shocked by, I thought I probably had more on my list from there, but I guess I didn't.
Yeah.
So, Amanda.
Well,
now, not the one that surprised you most. You gotta pick a different one.
And I did watch two Taiwanese dramas that I actually enjoyed. So yes, other than Mom, Don't Do That, I also watched No Regrets in Life, which was on Netflix.
That's on my currently watching.
It's good. It also surprised me a bit in how much I enjoyed it, but it's a great drama about sort of a bunch of people in their late 20s, early 30s, I guess late 20s or right around 30. I don't know. It's been 8 years since they graduated college, whatever that means in Taiwan. And they have struggles, and it's not just about the main couple and their struggles. There's a lot of the struggles that everybody in this friend group has gone through and is going through, and to get them to this place. And it was a good story, and I liked the way it told the stories from different angles, and it showed you how little things that people did, sort of not really thinking about it. It was like one little sort of offhand remark 8 years ago completely changed the course of life for people and stuff. And like, it's kind of wild to watch that happening and see how that affects people.
Very cool. So, Jessie, did you watch any Taiwanese?
I did. I watched one, and it's a stellar one. Not from 2022, but that's whatever. Okay. I went big for this one Taiwanese drama that I watched. Someday or One Day.
Ooh.
Fantastic. I think I've talked about it a bit when I finished it, but oh my gosh, it's a time travel
and I'm assigned to watch it sometime, and we will do an episode on it.
It's oh my gosh, I feel like most people would love it. It's time travel. I don't know what to say to not spoil things, so I'm not going to go too deeply into it, but it's about like friendship and relationships, and just dealing with death and different things going on. It's just, the time travel is also like weirdly great in it too, like but like it's just all around, it's fantastic. I'm sure if you even know the title, you know that like a lot of people really love it. But yeah, it was great. I did this thing towards the beginning of the year, and I was supposed to do it like every month. I was going to go through my list and pick an older drama, or like pre-2022 drama that has like that I had on my list for a really long time, and that was one of them.
Nice.
So how about you, Natalia?
Okay, so now the actual answer is DNA Says Love You. However, I waxed poetic last episode, so I don't want to rehash how good DNA Says Love You is. Watch DNA Says Love You is all I have to say. So instead, I went with the other Taiwanese show that I watched this year, which was Plus and Minus. It was very sweet, and it's about two lawyers who've been best friends their whole life. But oh no.
Uh-oh. Tale as old as time.
And then they also befriend the hot new half Japanese bartender with long beautiful hair.
Oh my gosh, I love a drama with like the bartender or like the
and he befriends the single dad divorcee who owns the laundromat next door to the bar.
Oh, perfect.
A cute little nerd. Oh. It's like, listen, the recipe for things I will enjoy.
It sounds like the vibes were immaculate.
The vibes were immaculate. Like, is it like the best show? No, but it was fun. Like, it was a good show. I enjoyed watching it. The chemistry between the two leads, so good that it's, this may be half Delulu, but they're not denying it. Maybe in real life. But anyway, it's really nice. It's just a nice little show. And then they're adults, which is nice, adults being, and there's female characters that aren't awful.
What?
You love to see it. You love to see it.
For the record, it's a BL, it sounds like.
It is. Yes, it is. Okay, this is one of those things where I'm like, yes, technically it is classified as the genre BL, but it's, as I always say, BL is not a genre, BL is a tag. So just like K-drama is not a genre, K-drama is a geographical tag of where something is made. The only thing BL means is that two boys be smooching, okay? Two people who identify as men smooch at some point in the show. So yeah, I guess technically it's a BL, but like, it's just nice. It's nice. They're nary an engineering student to be. But yeah, so I liked it. Plus minus. It's on Viki. I like it. I like it. Picasso. Jessie knew that. Jessie knew. Okay. Sky, what about you?
So I only watched 2 Taiwanese dramas this year.
One more than me.
I'm going to do an asterisk. One of them. So I guess the one I'll pick is Encore Martha. It's newer. As far as what year was it? 2021.
Okay.
It is a miniseries type. Gaga Ooh La La is where you can find it. Mm-hmm. And essentially it's about an older lesbian finding her like first flame from forever ago who she had let go, who had married and had kids and all this stuff, and then they find each other again. And it was just really touching because it was conversations that you just don't expect to see within dramas, as far as conversations with the adult grown children who are like, they're going to be having their weddings and stuff. Conversations about like, they're not comfortable with their mom being a lesbian, like being in a lesbian relationship now. And how pretty much the partner has to step in and be like, you need to let your mom decide for herself what she wants her life to be. And so I will say the caveat to this, it's a very cool, very short drama. It's very well done. I will say romance side, there's really not much to it. There's longing there, but it's not like there's really not even that much hugging or anything. So it's more like it's a bittersweet kind of more family dynamic of that. But I thought it was just so well done with that that's why I want to bring it up, and I want people to go check it out because it's such an easy watch. Really good like jazz music and stuff, because the whole point is like one of the leads, like she's a musician and all this. So I just thought it was neat about like second chances and being able to like find yourself and stuff. And the character that had been married and chose family, and that's what she wanted to do because society kind of told her to. It's not that she regretted having her children, and she still loved her children very much and still wanted to be involved with that. But at this point in the game, she wanted to also like have her own life too. So it was a really neat. I liked the themes there. I thought it was really neat. The only other Taiwanese drama I watched was Murphy's Law of Love. It was a rewatch. It was one of my first dramas that I ever watched, so that's why I watched it. I do recommend it, but that's a whole different thing. I've talked about it before. We don't need to go over it again. But yeah, so that was my Taiwanese pick. Sorry that Encore Martha, I really don't think it's anywhere else. I do think it's pretty much Gaga.
I think it's just, yeah.
Which, check out Gaga La La if you haven't.
Yeah. So, how about China? What do people watch from China?
I feel like I've watched.
Amanda, I know that you've watched some Chinese.
I haven't.
Yeah, let's ask, how many Chinese dramas have you? Because it seems like you went pretty Chinese heavy.
You know what? Surprisingly, not nearly as heavy as last year. Like this year, solidly K-dramas were like more than 50% of what I watched, as opposed to last year. But I did still watch a lot of Chinese dramas because they're fun and they're light.
I do too.
I watched a couple that were really good. I dropped a lot. Probably one of the best ones that I watched was called Why Women Love. It was a Noonas romance. It was adorable. Office romance, Noonas romance. It was just a good story. Great like soundtracks to it, and interesting side couple story going on with a married couple that's going through a struggle, and it was just good. It was really enjoyable to watch the dynamics of the boss. The guy is like her intern or something, or her secretary, but he's also like the boss's son. So like there's a weird dynamic that goes on there where like, you know, he kind of has a bit of a, I guess I could get you fired kind of attitude, but he never says things like that, but like it's obviously there. So it's interesting. And it was cute. It was mostly just cute. Like there was a lot of proposals in there because he is all in way sooner than she is, and she's like, okay, child, you need to, like,
pump the brakes,
just relax a little bit. And yeah, it's interesting, but it's cute. So, and and they also are like, they're not roommates, but like they wind up in apartments in the same building. So like,
of course,
he's just constantly in her space and in her face, and she's going, "You're a baby and I can't love you." And he's like, or
is there a trope title for that? Like as far as like Neighbors,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Neighbors or
because
it's definitely a major trope.
I almost feel like that trope is inescapable.
Oh,
yeah.
If you're watching a rom-com.
Oh,
like
it's like
so
huge
common
in books too. Like in romance books.
You know,
I see it all the
if
time.
you're not cohabitating, you're at least
sharing an entryway. Hey-yo.
You're in the same building.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're one floor up. We're gonna share the elevator. That's gonna be a thing.
Looking at you between us. Looking at you.
Well, the reason I was thinking about it is because I was like, man, that would be a game like counting down in a show until they reveal, oh, Neighbors now. Like that would be a common thing.
Yeah.
Jessie, did you venture into the mainland at any point?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. This is the one that I don't have any. I will throw in just as a aside, because I don't think we'll bring it up, I'm going to throw in a Filipino drama that I watched because might as well.
Yep.
Substitution.
I watched, Pearl Next Door.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's on YouTube, so I think it's like super accessible to everybody, and it's like a really quick and short GL that like everybody could watch. And so I figured might as well throw it up. I'm sure I've talked about it before, but it was done like when COVID started happening, so it's kind of in that like realm of COVID. So a lot of the scenes and stuff are purposely done through like Zoom conversation. So like it's like a known thing in the world. So it's like an interesting take on it. And it's about this girl named Pearl, and she's an internet like YouTube kind of an influencer. So like you see some like times it's like her making her videos or whatever she has for her, thing. And she's, courting two girls and just some other characters. It's a part of the
Game
Boy.
Yes.
Like series, like Pearl is
Game Boy's cinematic universe.
It's the universe now. Pearl is like the best friend of the main. So if you are into that world, come over to the GL side, please. That would be great. It's cute. It's not the best thing in the entire world, but Pearl, like that actress,
is so good.
She's so delightful.
Like she just seems like she is that person, and like Pearl, the character, just seems like the sweetest, loveliest person too.
Yes,
and it's also super short too. Like so, it's not like a chore to watch it, and you kind of just like pick it up, but it's good. It's something to have like a difference in, and a different country.
Yeah.
Nice. For me, I've mentioned this on the podcast before. It's one of my top dramas of the year. Love Like the Galaxy. Now, I have all these caveats that I come in that it's an incredibly good show. If you really like super long, political filled historical dramas.
Yeah, that does not sound that interesting to me.
So if that is something that you are into, Love Like the Galaxy is incredible. And the worst part is, so it's like, I don't know, like over 50 episodes long. Okay. Like it's a really long show. And I was like into it. But it was overlapping my visit with my mom that I was watching. So like I was just watching it, but we were like 3/4 of the way into the show. And then my mom sits down and she's like, so what's happening in this show? And I'm like, listen, Mom, there is no way I could catch you up to speed on any. I'm like, Mom, more characters have died in this show. Like more named characters have been murdered than there still are in the show. Like, I don't know what you want me to do here. But basically it's about a girl who was raised apart from her parents because her parents were away at the war. Away at the war. And then she catches the eye of an absolute smoke show of a general. And then a lot of the show is her dealing with the fact that she's not very ladylike because she was raised by her grandmother who didn't like her, so her grandmother never taught her anything, but she's like really good at math and like building shit. And then this general who has like this whole tragic backstory, and this general being like, yeah, this is the girl for me. She's insane. I love it. And then war declared several times. Multiple war. It's like the show spans like 15 years or something. Like a lot happens in this show. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was like literally I would stay up all night when I started watching it. Like, okay, I stay up all night anyway, but like I was happy to stay up all night and watch it. It's on WeTV and Viki, I think, and it's somewhere I think I saw in like Asia. It's on YouTube, not YouTube, Netflix. It's good. If you like historical dramas with revenge plots and wars and murderer and people getting stabbed with swords and flipping through the air, even though they're wearing like 30 pounds of armor, so it like doesn't really make sense aerodynamically, but that doesn't really matter. You're gonna like this. and it's really good. So
cool.
Yeah, Love Like the Galaxy. Loved it.
So I only watched one drama from China. I will say I did watch a couple of Chinese movies with our Found Family movie night.
That's true, we did.
I don't really even want to talk about those.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it.
Not because I'm keeping it a secret, but because they weren't that great.
They weren't so. But see, there's the thing. We don't know that before we watch the movie, okay? We're in the trenches with you on these movies. Oof. Oh, Super Me was something else.
So, I will say my Chinese drama pick is one that I actually talked about last episode, so I won't go into it a ton. Reset, it's the one I talked about last episode. So I won't go into a lot, but essentially time travel, time loop. So, if time loop's your jam, plus like cool side character backstory stuff, you'll like it. Is it kind of pro cop? Probably, but it's China, propaganda. So like, but there were a lot of twists, and it humanized a lot of the side characters, and I really, I wasn't expecting that of it, and I honestly, for a time loop drama, I was like, how are they going to keep this going for like 15, 16 episodes? I don't remember, around that number of episodes. How are you going to keep that going? They did a really good job at how to progress the time loop and stuff. So it was very intense and engaging, real cool. So I do, if you want to hear more, listen to our last episode.
Next, let's hit up the old Isle of Japan. To watch some Japanese dramas. Man, did you watch any Japanese dramas this year?
Not as many as, like, I think it was last year that I started off the year just watching like 8 Japanese dramas in a row. I was just like, this is all I'm watching this year. Just J-dramas. So this year, not so much. But I did watch Old Fashioned Cupcake, which is freaking adorable. Oh, and like, it's just
so much.
It's
so perfect.
We all have watched that for the record.
Yeah. And also, look at me now striking it off my list and picking a new show.
I was wondering when we were going to get to that point.
Yeah.
It's okay, I have backup.
I figured you do. It's a drama about, it's an office romance between 2 men who, one is just very, doesn't do anything. He just is in a rut. His life is in a rut. And he likes his job. They keep trying to promote him, and he's like, nah, I don't want that job.
I like my job.
I like doing this job. So, you know, and one of the guys who works for him is like really, really into him. And like, this guy is just totally oblivious. But he wants to change up his life, and this guy's like, I can help you with that. Let's start eating desserts. Like, let's pretend we're a couple of teenage girls and we'll Instagram everything and have a great time.
I feel like it's an accompaniment to Cherry Magic.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're in the same, I know they're different, but they're in the same
They're in the same vibes.
Yeah.
Quieter, though. It's the
much
quieter version of, yeah.
But I was actually rewatching it the other day, and my husband was like, oh, what's this show about? I'm like, oh, it's about a guy and his boyfriend that he doesn't know he's dating. That's exactly what the show's about.
It definitely has, so like, if they were girls and not dudes, it's definitely that whole like lesbian, they've been dating for like 5 years and they're not really aware that they're dating.
Yeah.
It does have that like,
it has the vibe, you know.
And they're older, and they treat them like they're older. Like, despite what like it kind of sounds so with the like the Instagram of the like desserts, it's not done in a very juvenile way.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Yeah. He just kind of, you kind of get this sense of him looking at these, like he's looking at teenagers and stuff and thinking, like, I didn't have those types of relationships as a kid because it was kind of frowned upon because I was a dude, and they look so happy and they're so free and
carefree,
like, why can't I be like that? Why can't I just
enjoy something like that?
It all leads back to this, you know, how patriarchy hurts men just as much as it hurts women, because men aren't allowed to have intimate, joyful relationships with one another. Mind you, the show then falls apart because their intimate, joyful relationship becomes
I mean,
Well,
pretty gay, but you know, that's fine. That's fine. We're a queer positive podcast here. It's an excellent show.
But I really do enjoy the quietness of it. I like the tone of the show. So even though it's similar in tone to like Jessie said, I do like how quiet Old-Fashioned Cupcake
like
is.
it's not, it doesn't have that same level of, like, if you've watched Cherry Magic, Adachi is often like, like he's very like bouncy and startly, and there's none of that to it.
It doesn't have the anxiety that
they always go to like a specific like cafe, and those entire shows feels like a cafe, you know, like that like feeling of like even being in a library where it's kind of like very cozy and like quiet, but still everybody's doing something that they're enjoying. It's not quiet because it's like sterile.
It's nice. It's a nice show.
It really is.
It makes you feel good when you watch it. Like you just watch it and you're like, It's one of those shows that I put Cherry Magic in the same vein, where I'm like, if a homophobe can watch this show and still be a homophobe, there's something wrong with them. Like, if someone who, like, I'm not saying homophobes who just like hate gay people to hate gay people, but people who are like are unfamiliar with gay people and are just like, oh, I guess gay's not normal. If you can
it's more on the ignorant side.
The ignorant than the hateful. Like, if you can watch this and still think like, oh, gay people don't deserve rights, then fuck you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Just fuck off. Yeah. Jessie, I know you've watched it at least one J-drama this year besides that.
I watched several J-drama.
I figured as much.
Of course. I'm going to pick The Journalist because it's on Netflix. So we all know J-dramas is, you know, I mean, Vicky has been picking them up, but...
And Gaga Ulala, if you're into the queer dramas, Gaga Ulala has really been doing their most.
But The Journalist... I will say that I don't think it's for everyone, but like if you're looking for kind of a different, like you don't want like a rom-com or a romance type thing, it is a drama about a newspaper and like uncovering these kind of things going on in the government and cover-ups and stuff. And it follows like all of the people just kind of trying to find the truth and how it affects people in a very real way. It's not like journalists who are like over the top and just trying to get the story no matter what and doing a lot of stuff that like you're like, that would definitely like kill someone. Like it's like definitely like them wanting to uncover stuff. And I just think the whole entire cast is really good. It was super interesting watching it all unfold and how they like figured out things and like just like the whole entire kind of like web of like one single event like just blowing open this entire case and how like far it has reached in, and it's like these are like it's real world stuff. It's like what is happening right now too, so it's not like, you know, a mahjong or like, you know, like super over the top in that way. I just thought it was just a really fascinating. The entire cast is really great and enjoyed all of it. There is a movie, but I think it's like a remake of the movie or just like a sort of thing. I don't know how close it is, but yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. It was like one of the first dramas I watched this year too.
Sounds really intricate.
Yeah.
So for me, it was gonna be a freaking cupcake, but it's fine because I watched several other J-dramas.
Well, we'll see if one of them you pick is one of them.
I don't think it is because I don't think you watched this one, perhaps. So mine was a high school romance drama, mellow comedy. It was a lot of things, and it was based on a manga, but didn't have, you know, sometimes when you watch shows based on manga, sometimes they're real goofy. This one wasn't goofy, but one of the characters was goofy, but then, anyway, you find out it's all the front. But anyway, it's called Takara-kun to Amagi-kun, and it's about this little goofball who's also maybe a bit of a traumatized goofball who captures the eye of the school's hottest dude, he's like known for being aloof and not showing interest in anyone. But then suddenly this little weirdo, something about this little weirdo really, he's into the vibe, okay? And then it's just, someone described it to me as watching two turtles mating because it's awkward but endearing. Like, and that's kind of what this show is. It's a very slow moving show about two very weird people whose vibes just like work together in a strange way. And I was also like watching this because it was finishing up like when I was at my mom's, and my mom was watching it, sort of half watching it, because my mom does this where she'll sit in the same room and like watch things with me, but then like not know what's going on and then immediately interrupt me to ask me what's going on. But she didn't actually interrupt me because like nothing goes on. Like it's like a slice.
Big happens.
I was actually using this show to teach her the concept of a slice of life Japanese drama, where I'm like, okay, the plot doesn't really matter. It's just the situational and the characters like existing in their world. Anyway, it talks a lot about, you know, like these characters like anxieties and like their emotions and stuff. And my mom was like, you know, this would be a really nice show for like teens to watch, to like see that like, you know, people can understand your weird emotions that you don't know what to do with. And I'm like for
she gave a thumbs up.
She gave a thumbs up. Like, yeah. There's like this,
well, I'm just saying Natalia gave a thumbs up.
My mom gave a thumbs up.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It's a very comforting show to watch. Very different comfort levels than old-fashioned Cupcake. But still, it has like, you feel nice watching it. Like it's one of those like everything that goes wrong gets resolved by the end of the episode, and then there's like another fun little event happening in the next one. So there's no like, it's nice. It's a nice show. It's a nice show. It's on Viki and Gaga Lola. It's really cute. It's really sweet. I love it. Sky, what Japanese drama did you pick?
So it's a drama that I've waxed poetic about in a couple of different avenues, but Full-Time Wife Escapist or
Yes.
We Married as a Job.
So good.
Contract drama, contract marriage situation, but it is very different in that they talk about like a lot of relationship issues and like patriarchal like power imbalance stuff. I'm not saying this is a realistic drama because it's not, but the stuff they talk about is really cool and real. So the reason I say that is essentially you have a very, very introverted engineering type person. I don't remember what his job
He's like
was.
a computer engineer. He's like a computer software designer.
Yeah.
Coder,
like,
yeah.
So very, very introverted person. And then she's pretty like, I wouldn't say she's necessarily extroverted, but she's definitely not as introverted as he is. But like her family's always had a cleaning business, so that's kind of, she starts cleaning for him, and that's how they begin this relationship of just like work, just a work relationship. But he just ends up really respecting the way she gets crud done, essentially. Blah blah blah. They figured out it was beneficial for them to have this contract relationship situation. But as things progress slowly, it always they put things in the work perspective. But it's not as weird as it sounds with that. Like, well after they start having like feelings and all this stuff, like push comes to shove, she starts laying it out there like what the imbalances are for women whenever they are married and how they're expected to give more labor within the household just to get feelings in return, feelings that could stop at any moment, and how that's not fair, and how if I'm not getting paid anymore, what do I really get out of that? And that sounds like super dry and stuff, but it's always handled. It's neat to have those conversations. So It's actually very cute. There's lots of cute feelings.
And there's a movie sequel.
Yes, which I haven't watched yet, but you did, and it was
good.
really good, right?
Yeah, it's cute. It's really sweet. I really liked it.
And then, as with some J-dramas, the cutesy type of J-dramas, sometimes they do like a little dance song situation at the end of each episode. So, yep, they do this little choreography.
It's cute. It's cute.
And it's also cute because, like, the lead actor, Hoshino Gen, he is the singer of, like, the OST song, the main song of the show and stuff, so it's really neat. I really think a lot of people would enjoy it if they haven't checked it out yet. It is on Viki, so easy to go grab.
Mm-hmm. So now we find ourselves in the beautiful land of Thailand. I know I watched some Thai dramas.
I wonder if Jessie and I watched the same.
I feel like they might have watched the same. Well, listen, I know for a fact that you two at least watched 2 Thai dramas.
Oh,
that's true.
You might know more than one of us.
Oh,
yeah.
Do I not have one on my list?
Yeah.
Well, because one technically started in December of 2021, but I know that we watched it. Anyway, Amanda, I know you've watched some Thai dramas.
I have indeed. I think the one I'm going to go with is actually a 2021 drama that I watched this year. Actually, I think all of the Thai dramas that I completed this year were from different years, but whatever. This one's called 46 Days. And it's just bonkers, but it's so much fun. It's the story of like warring net idols, or they do the little food blog thingies, like where they eat stuff and try to sell it to you, and they often have contracts with different companies and everything. And there's these two that they just hate each other, and the one has announced her wedding, and the other one makes it like her life's goal to like ruin this wedding, to like stop it from happening, because this woman is so terrible, and this guy seems nice, and he just really shouldn't wind up with such a terrible person. And the wedding is happening in 46 days. So she's got 46 days, and of course they fall in love, of course, this is
love were declared.
Like, it's not like she sets out to like ruin this wedding because she wants to she wants the guy for herself. That is not on her plate. It's not on her plan at all. She's like, she just wants him not to be saddled with this terrible human being. And like,
shenanigans ensue.
So many shenanigans. Like, if you look at the poster, she's got like a bazooka, and things are blowing up behind her because she like, that's how she imagines herself ruining the wedding the first time she thinks about it. And there's a whole sequence where she rides in on a tank or whatever and like blows up everything. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm going to just decimate this wedding. And it's hilarious. It's just nonsense, but it's fun nonsense. And
you know what? I'm going to be real. A lot of Thai shows, fun nonsense is the key word.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's definitely the driving force in Thai shows.
Shenanigans are feature heavily in a lot of Thai shows.
Is that one that would be on YouTube or Viki?
Yes, it's on YouTube. So it's, pretty easily accessible. It had good subs as far as I can remember. Sometimes you get there and you're like, ooh, I can't.
These are some rough translations.
Yeah. But this one, I seem to recall it being pretty decent, so it's fun.
All right, Jessie. Now let's see if Jessie picks one of the ones I think she's gonna pick.
Do you think I'm gonna pick it? Do you? I'm not. I'm gonna throw a curveball because I did watch a couple of Thai shows this year. So I am going to talk about Remember 15, which there is a trigger warning. It is a full-on slasher, so there's blood and gore and suicide. So if you don't like that, you're not going to like this show. But I'm me, so it was great. It is about a group of friends who gets a letter to return to this island from a girl who was part of the friend group who committed suicide
Mhm.
on that island years before. Like, they don't know why they got this letter now. Like, it's just all of them. It's like it happened when they were in high school, and it's like, I don't know, like 5 years later or whatever. So they all go to this island to go find out why they got the letter from her, you know, because she's dead and stuff. And madness ensues.
Dark shenanigans. Madness is like the evil half of shenanigans.
Murder ensues.
Those are the options with Thai dramas, right? Silly shenanigans or murder
Shenanigans. Yeah. One or the other.
Yeah, it's just a nonstop, just yeah.
Like, I feel like that's one of those ones where I would just not go to an island.
This seems like
I get a letter from somebody who is dead. I feel like I would
beginning, like you can tell, like they're not like friends with each other anymore. Too, it's not like they're like coming together because they all kept being friends or whatever. Like, they all have like.
So you're not even a unified team.
Yeah, like this is a disaster waiting to happen.
They go like knowing that they have to like camp out too. It's not like just.
Oh God, no.
I mean, it's like perfectly set up.
A lot of people,
like, I mean, like, obviously, like, what do you want from a slasher? But like, it does like kind of like go into like flashbacks of like kind of the incidents and what kind of led to her death and like things that were happening and stuff. But it's wild. I mean, if you're looking for a show like that, it's not good, but like it's like any other slasher where it's just like.
It ceases to matter if it is or not after a while, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of not good, I need to preface with the show that I'm about to say is that I'm not saying this show because this show was an amazing show. I am putting this show on here because I had one hell of a time watching this show because this show was unintentional.
So you didn't pick any of the other ones that we picked.
No. See, I decided not to because I figured you two pick them.
I know.
And also, one may feature in the top dramas section.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned to find out what our top dramas of the year were. So, I need to preface by saying that don't come for me because I picked this one due to the sheer fun that I had watching it.
Hey, that's all that matters.
It was good. I would like to bring you to the.
So, do you even recommend this show?
If you want to have a good time, yes. If you want to watch an amazing,
ironic
good time, like the sort of good time that you have by watching like bad B movies. Is what you will have in the erotic mafia drama Unforgotten Night. This show is wild. It has live tigers. It has the worst BDSM sex scenes you've ever seen. It has the most dramatic music playing when nothing dramatic is happening. It has the craziest female character who doesn't understand what gay people are that you've ever seen. It's got it all. So I actually watched this drama. It's on Gaga Ulala for anyone who's like, I gotta see this now. I watched it because I watch anything, regardless of quality, as previously stated. But friend of the show, Lucy, was also watching it. And she and I would be like, holy shit. Did you see what the fuck happened this week? So it follows.
Well, that also helps.
Yeah, when you have friends to watch it with you. So basically, it follows. There's an accountant, and not a TikTok accountant. He's a legit accountant. Who the guy that he's been in love with, who he was sort of not really, maybe thought he was dating in his head, but they weren't really dating, is like, this is my boyfriend. I love him. We're together now. And so he's like, oh, my heart. Crack. So he goes to this bar to like drink away his sorrows, as one does. But oh no. There's no. The bar is in the VIP room is a gay mafioso with a full back tiger tattoo. Okay. But do you know those like
So was he just hanging
No,
out?
he takes the shirt. No, he dramatically takes the shirt off in the first episode, and you see this. But like,
I would expect nothing less.
When I say tiger tattoo, do you know those like fuzzy blankets with like the satin edges that have like the really cheesy like tiger motif? Think that vibe, but full back, okay? Like, and they have a wild, kinky, I say in air quotes, night where it's very clear that neither of these actors knew anything.
Listen, it just sounds like the show is just they tried.
They did their best. And then it's like the next morning, this mafioso's like, you were the only one who could like handle my wild, sexy desires. You're gonna be my lover now. And he's like, say what now? And then it just goes from there. And it's just like so stupid.
And I remember you would talk about it, and it would be like someone was just walking down the stairs and the music.
Like it would have like think if people who are watching are familiar with like the opening credits to the Thai drama Dark Blue Kiss with the dramatic violins, dun, 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 like it would be that level of dramatic, and it would just be like him walking down the stairs to go to breakfast and be like no, you're just like so about to get murdered on these stairs. And then like they tried to sandwich as much like sexy stuff that just came out as comedic. like I feel like whoever was conceptualizing this was like, oh yeah, the gays and the bitches gonna love this. Like, ooh. But it was like so badly, like so cheesy that like I'm crying just thinking about it right now. I had so much fun. Like, was it a great show? No. Did I get excited to press play every single week when there was a new episode? Yes.
I can just picture you like rubbing your hands together.
Like, ooh, what are they gonna do this week? Like, it is.
What am I in for?
Absolutely insane. It's an insane show. Like, it's the show that like, it's the poor man's Kin Porsche without any of the production value. So go with it, like, and with so much more comedy, but none of it on purpose. And it has live tigers for some like he has pet tigers because
that's where they put all the money in.
Yeah, literally the whole budget was spent renting this one mansion, and then the tigers. There's just some tigers just chilling. It's such a vibe. Like unintentional comedy, chef's kiss. Like so stupid. I loved it so much. It was so bad, and I loved it so much. But like, I'm not ashamed to say I loved it. That was bad because like I think I did like on another podcast I guested on. We talked about. I'm like, this is the worst show I've ever seen, but
and yet
I want to watch it again, and I don't know why. Anyway, guy, I gotta stop talking about it. Go. Thai show.
Okay. I think the second. So Natalia thinks I've watched two. I'm not done with the second one. So the second one that they're talking that. So not me. We will talk about more some other time.
Yes, don't worry. I'll come back.
I know that's a really good show. I would wax poetic if I was done. I'm not. So the only one that I have watched is, of course, the aforementioned Kin Porsche.
The high quality version of Unforgotten Night.
Yeah, we're on the other side.
And we have talked about that before. We did a live.
We did two
like things, reaction to like the first episode, and then we
so much fun when we did the watch along.
That was we did do more watch alongs. They're fun.
Yeah. That was so much fun.
So, Kin Porsche, if you are okay with NC-17 stuff, and you're cool with like mafia type characters,
if you like
being mafia type characters,
if you like guns and butts, you're in for a treat.
Actually, I will say, so there are parts of Kin Porsche that are hard hitting and have like shootouts and whatever. But as far as like if you had to take percentages, like time allotted to stuff, there's a lot of fun, silly. There's some cute stuff. Like it's not just this hard.
It's like in thirds. You get like 1/3 goofy comedy, you get 1/3 romantic sexy shit, and then you get 1/3 of plot and violence.
Yeah. And they mix it pretty well. Like tonally, it never feels really dissonant or anything. So I thought,
and it has Jeff Satter in it, and he's just the most beautiful man who's ever walked the earth. So like, win.
Yeah, you're watching and you're like, I mean, it could be worse.
Ooh, that long hair. Oof.
Oh, his hair.
I just remember when he appeared in the opening credits, because my mom didn't make it far enough into Ken Porsche to actually meet. You hear his voice, but you never actually meet him in person yet, because she was just like, I'm not sure I'm into this. She made it further than you'd think. But it took longer than you'd think for her to figure out it was gay. But she saw him in the opening credits, and she was like, oh, who's that? I'm like, well, Mom, I guess, I thought you didn't like it enough to like keep going. I guess you'll never know who Jeff Satter is. Anyway, yeah. Oh, Ken Porsche.
Ken Porsche. So we've talked about it a lot before, so go check out our other stuff.
Yeah, we have a whole spoiler episode on it, and we have a whole live stream about it, so go enjoy. Finally, Korea. What did we all watch in Korea?
Oh golly. So for me, I'm gonna pick one that was, well, geez, I my two favorite Korean dramas this year are dramas from last year that I finally finished this year. So I'm gonna say Idol the Coup. So it's on iQIYI, which, watch for it. They'll probably have a sale coming up if you don't have a membership.
They do
that
often.
Time of year.
They do often.
Yep. Listen, it's a great idol drama. Like, not as in a drama starring idols, but a drama about idols, and a drama about idol culture and careers and what happens to idols who are washed up but they're still under contract, and what happens when your company puts you on the back burner and never takes you off that burner and just lets you sit there and
languishing.
Yeah, but you can't do anything else because you're under contract. So good luck.
Topical.
So, real life story of most girl groups.
Yeah,
exactly. And
Hani's in it.
Yeah, it is. The actresses great. The story fantastic. The way they fight, but also have each other's backs, and like the struggles that the girls have with each other, but then also with the world, and then like also trying to have each other's back, but like, you know, sometimes when you try to help a wild creature, it bites you. Like, they have that kind of relationship with each other. And crying, like, I did not expect going into this how much I would cry, how many times. Like, it was insane, and it was so good, and it was just the story of everything that they went through and how they fought for themselves. And the basic premise of it is they're a girl group that like debuted like 5 years ago, had a pretty good hit, and then never released anything else. But basically their company was completely built on that one good hit that they had. And because of that, they were able to get investors, and they were able to debut a boy group that skyrocketed and is huge, and they have a whole bunch of groups under them now. But this girl group that made it all possible doesn't get to do anything. And they're basically given one more shot. And their plan is, or what they present this new boss with is, we're going to hit number one. We're going to make number one on a music show, and then we're going to disband. And he's like, what? And they're like, no, because we're going out on our terms. We're not going to disband losers. We're going to disband as winners. And it's the whole story about their fight to get to the top. And it's so good. Like, it's really, really.
So, I'm gonna pick. I watched mostly K-dramas because obviously, but I'm gonna pick All of Us Are Dead, which we have a full spoiler episode on. So if you want to like know our full, like mine and Natalia's full like
thoughts
and opinions on the show, you should.
We got some thoughts on the show.
But if somehow, some way you're here and you've never heard of All of Us Are Dead,
first of all, how?
First, yeah, I need you to explain this to me. Like, I need to study you. But it's on Netflix. It's a show about zombies. There's a zombie outbreak that happens in a high school, and it follows a group of kids just trying to survive and get out of the high school and not become zombies themselves. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought the take on the zombies was good, and I liked like the characters, like how different they were, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was a fun show.
It was. So my show is not from 2022, but I finally watched it, even though I meant to watch it when it came out. And if you listen to our last What We're Watching episode, you'll probably know what it is. And that's the show The Devil Judge, which was absolutely incredible from beginning to end. It is a show about I say in air quotes, fictional dystopian Korea that somehow has slightly better technology, but all of the exact same problems that actual Korea has. And
imagine that.
And it is a revenge drama featuring judges who are basically now a new judicial arm of doing these live broadcasted trials that anyone in the country can vote on. So everyone in the country gets to be a member of the jury. And it's absolutely wild. But then, of course, you quickly find out that, like, the head judge has a ulterior motive for all of this. It's Ji-sung just being absolutely unhinged, and Jin Young going along for the ride. It's on Viki, and it is literally so good. Like, Jessie, you'd really like it if you haven't seen it. Like, it's...
Yeah, I didn't get to.
I know. And, like, when it was coming out, it was like all this other stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. All right, Sky, I know you've seen at least one K-drama this year.
yes. So I'm gonna pick one that we like haven't done like an episode on or anything, you know. So Shooting Stars. Let me talk about the title again for just a second. So Shooting Stars, the actual title instead of the O's in shooting is asterisk stars. It's all an in-joke. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but essentially the show centers around the PR department of an entertainment company. Thus, whenever they make a mix-up with something, it goes bad, and then they have to fix it all. So the whole thing with this is like, it's as if someone accidentally wrote Shitting Stars, and then they had to go like clean up the mess of that. Like, that's because they talk about like similar mishaps often, and the things that even within like relationships and stuff, that becomes a thing. So it centers the two main characters. One's the chick that pretty much is kind of the top of the PR department of this entertainment company, and her peer from college who is the hotshot actor of the entertainment company. And it goes from there. But like, it's actually really cute. It's fun. But the added benefit is the fact that Lee Jung-shin's also in it. So the other people, Lee Sung-kyung and Kim Young-dae are the two main leads. But then you have, like, kind of as a tertiary character, Lee Jung-shin played a super straight-laced, somewhat tightly wound lawyer. Like, who... He becomes second lead for a little bit. He's kind of second string for that. But in the show, the media gets wind that evidently, supposedly, this lawyer and the hotshot actor are dating, which of course they're not.
neighbors, and it's not.
They're actually rivals. Yeah. They're actually rivals for this one girl, but they end up being reported to be boyfriends. And they're pretty much frenemies. So they're very much frenemies, and so they start referring to each other as boyfriend, and it is the funniest. Like, they're kind of the comedic relief for a while with that. It's pretty good. So it's actually a really sweet show. The reason I wanted to bring it up is, like, I was always really excited to, like, press play again whenever there was a new episode. So it might have been one of the few shows that I was, like, chomping at the bit to immediately watch this year. A lot of stuff I would kind of put off a little bit to try to catch up, like binge and things like that, but Shooting Stars, I think I kept pretty tight with when it was currently airing, because it was my vibe. It to me, it has a similar vibe to Her Private Life. It's similar. It's not exactly the same, but as far as that tone of humor, similar. So kind of slapsticky, but not super over the top, but still there. So it was cute.
Fun. It was such
because
a fun drama.
those leads sell physical comedy really well too. So whenever it was a little slapsticky, they did a really good job with it.
So I know what you're thinking. This must be the time that they tell us their top drama. But hold on, hold on.
Now that we're almost 2 hours in,
we got just a few more very quick things. First off, very quick. We did several spoiler and drama-based episodes this year. So we're just very quick. We're not since we're not going to go into plots or anything because you can go listen to those episodes.
Yeah.
So very quick, everyone. What was one of your favorite spoiler episodes or drama-based episodes? What was the show that you really liked from those?
39 for me.
Good.
Okay. I mean, there was some really good ones but 39's in my top 10 for the year.
Nice.
So.
Jessie?
Semantic Error.
Semantic Error was really good.
I know everybody loves that, but yeah, we have a full
so much on it.
Impressions and we
loved Semantic Error.
Yes.
Now I was gonna go Semantic Error, but
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. I'm gonna go The Silent Sea. I thought it was just really good. The show, well, I thought our episode was really good, obviously, but I also really liked the pensive nature of the show, and I love a good sci-fi.
I'm going to go with The Sound of Magic. I really, really, really like that drama. So, and I think we talked about a lot, we talked through a lot of the main things with it and our stuff. So I don't remember if was it first impressions or was it spoiler? I don't even remember.
I think it was spoiler because there were only 6 episodes, so I think we.
Spoiler,
because I was like, we talked about a lot of it. I feel like we covered most of the bases. So yeah, and I enjoyed doing that episode too. I remember I had a lot of fun with us talking about, because there was a lot to unpack with the fact that it was a musical and the tone and all these things. So it was a fun.
I enjoyed that one too. And then, as a final note, before we go into our top dramas, we're taking a slight detour. What was a new artist you found this year, musical wise, that you enjoyed?
For me, it's sort of new. They're new together, but Mama Doll, they were, a bunch of older idols who had, were retired for a time, who came back together and gave us the absolute banger,
the sickest banger you've ever seen.
And then poof, disappeared. Not really. They're still around, and several of them got contracts to do other things, but it's a crime. It is a crime against Hag fans everywhere that they did not release more music together. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I have two that I think one's going to be Natalia's pick, one's going to be Sky's pick, so I won't pick either of them.
That's totally fine. I figured we would overlap with this. I really figured.
But I will highlight. I think I found them this year. I could have found them at the end of last year. There is a K-rock band called DIH. They're all female group. They've been around, I think, since 2018. So newer, but not super new. It's not a brand new, but it's brand new to me. I really like them. They don't have a lot of actual produced stuff out yet though, but they did release, I think, 2 or 3 singles this year. So there's definitely something out. If you're into rock, definitely check them out, especially because they're all female and really great and wonderful.
Awesome.
So
sweet.
Mine is a Thai group that I discovered. There were many options for me, but I decided to go with this because I really, really like all their stuff. And they're a group called Tilly Birds. And they're not a new group or anything, but I just started listening to them and okay, I can't really tell you why I started listening to them because it relates to my top drama of the year, but it related to that. My top drama of the year is why I started listening to them, and I'm into it now. Big fan. So Tilly Birds, they got a lot of stuff on Spotify, so they're a vibe. I really like them.
So I will say I'm going to claim this for this year. I'm probably cheating. I might have spoken about them last year. It's kind of
no one's going to call you. Don't worry about it.
Because I really had 2, and whatever. But the one I want to mention is Billie.
Yeah.
Billie.
I got 50%.
I mean, side note: the other one's Extraordinary Heroes. You can go check.
Yeah,
it out. I just had their 1 year.
I had a 3-way tie. Mine was Tilly Birds, Extraordinary Heroes, and Only One of. So
I thought you were gonna say Le Seraphim.
Well, I do also like Le Seraphim. You're right. You're right.
So yeah,
Billie.
They're great. They have a lot of different vibes to their music and stuff, but they are amazing. They are, Also, shout out to the YouTube video that I probably have watched the most this year is a special stage shared between Moonbin and his sister Suah from Billie. Candy in My Ears cover. Freaking amazing. I probably watch it at least once a week. Go watch it.
Billie's great. They
Billie
have great B-sides.
They do.
Superior B-sides.
Yeah.
And Le Seraphim is really good too. I just want people to know Le Seraphim is also really great. They were number 4. So finally, it's time, ladies. Our top drama of the year. Dun, dun, dun.
We're hoping we don't watch our top drama in the next couple weeks.
But I don't. Our top drama as of December 7th, 2022 for the year 2022.
Well, I was debating it was going to be 39, but since I already mentioned that one, I'm going to go with Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Yes, that's the title, Extraordinary Attorney Woo. I really, really enjoyed this show. It was one of the ones that, for me, like you were saying earlier, Sky, I wanted to watch it. I was looking forward to every episode, and every week I wanted to stay current. I didn't want to let it slip. I mean, partially because it felt like everybody was watching it, and on the timeline, there was a lot of chit chat. So if you fell behind, you were going to see things you maybe didn't want to see. So, but it was just a really good drama. It had interesting plot lines. As a legal drama, there's lots of interesting things going on that way, but also the relationships and the whole aspect of somebody with autism, doing all this stuff and how that affected her relationships with people. And I just really, really enjoyed it. And sky whales. There were sky whales.
There were sky whales.
And I love a good sky whale. So,
and for you romance fans, it also had the nicest male lead
Oh my god.
you'll ever meet in any drama. Raising the bar,
there
know?
was like 99% of people, oh my gosh, he's just so good, he's just so perfect. And then there was a couple of people who were like, he's too good, it's not really healthy. And you were like,
because
no,
he's too
stop.
you're like, no. If it's all green flags, that's not actually a red flag.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, he's too boring. I'm like, because he's nice and respectful and kind and
give us that kind of boring.
Also,
like,
he's
oh
not
no,
for you, he's for her.
Yeah, I don't like you. You're not. Don't worry, he's not interested in you, honey.
How about you, Jessie?
This is a drama that as soon as I finished it, I had declared it that it was probably going to be my number one, and it's still my number one, and that is Through the Darkness. Fantastic. Absolutely, like nonstop, like so good. I haven't watched a lot of Kim Nam-gil, but I don't foresee any other like role being as superb as this. And he did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And if you don't know, it's a crime drama about the first profiler in Korea, and he like talked to him and like researched him, and so it's literally kind of just like periods of time in the development of profiling serial killers and stuff in Korea, and it's fantastic. It's really hard to watch, I know, for a lot of people, because it's really terrible people, but like that's why you have profilers. You don't have profilers. I mean, like, profilers help in like smaller cases, but like profilers are there to like figure out these like larger things and why people do things that they do. So there's very detailed like stuff about like really terrible people doing things, but just every second of it is fantastic and just so good. So good. Like, if you can handle that sort of thing, I highly suggest watching it. I loved it.
Okay, now I'm presented with a bit of a problem with mine. Because I have my top drama because I enjoyed it the most, or my top drama that I thought was good. And those aren't the same drama. So, do I go enjoyment or do I go quality?
Let's start with enjoyment, and then you can mention the other one as well.
Okay. So, for enjoyment, the drama Cutie Pie the series. I know.
How many times have you watched that this year?
Don't call me out like
How
that.
many times?
Fucking call me out like this.
I'm curious. Give me a ballpark.
Six
okay.
times. Six times. I've rewatched it 6 times.
If you rewatched it 6 times, then it's definitely your top drama.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Okay. But I recognize that it may not actually be the best drama. We're in
not
my
like
heart,
selecting the best drama for like just
for
out of
in my
like
heart.
things.
There's something
drama.
so nice about this 2005 Wattpad plot of a drama that like just really appeals to me. So basically, it's like an arranged marriage but gay. It's a Thai drama, and so basically this rich kid's grandfather had like arranged his marriage with like his best friend's son, who is now like a CEO of like this water company or something, like a bottled water company, and is like real progressive. Okay, he's like out there being like he, someone they make like he's being pitched like an advertisement that like sort of pokes fun at trans people, and he's like, I don't think trans people are a fucking joke. Maybe take these outdated ideas elsewhere. But he's like, doesn't seem like he's that into this arranged marriage. And so this like rich kid who has like a secret life where everyone thinks he's just this polite kid who's studying computer science, and he's just like a good kid. He's not doing any of that. He rides motorcycles. He's secretly like a drummer in a bar band.
This does feel so Wattpad.
It's very Wattpad. And it's like, and also he's like, he's not studying computer science. He's studying like mechanical engineering for like automobiles and shit. So like he's got this whole secret life that like only his little best friend knows about. And so, but every Friday he dresses up really nice and acts all polite and like, and goes on these dates with this guy. But this guy's like not a dumbass. So he's like, you're fake. Like, he's like, yeah, I'll marry you because I said I would, but I don't really want to be married to like some fake ass bitch, essentially. And so that thus begins the conflict of him being like, you know what? If you don't actually love me, then fuck you. I'ma do what I want to do, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And then the other guy's like, good. But anyway, I love this drama. Like, I don't know what it is about this drama. It just hits different. Like, it's so good. And it's just really sweet. And I'm really into it. And it's on YouTube and Viki. But the watching experience is much nicer on Viki because it's like the full episodes. Whereas on YouTube, they're cut into 4 pieces like they do. It's a feel good drama. It makes you feel good when you watch it, and it's nice. And it's got like 3 different love lines, and it's very gay, and they talk about marriage equality all the time, and it's really nice. And they drive fast cars and motorcycles. And this is where I found the Tilly Birds, because the gutter punk rich kid character sings a Tilly Birds cover in one scene, and he's actually like, this actor's actually a professional singer, so it's like a good cover. So like when he's performing at this bar, and yes, my boy Stewart's in it. Perth McCunn plays the owner of the bar that he a little bit of a skeevy, sexy vibe for him. Very nice shirts, unbuttoned all the way. You know, good times. Anyway, I love it. And if anyone's wondering what I thought the top drama quality was, it was the drama Not Me. It's an excellent drama, but it had very different vibes. Very different vibes. Excellent drama, different vibes. Couldn't rewatch it 6 times in a year. I might end this recording and go watch Cutie Pie again. Me. All right, Sky, what's your top drama?
It probably, just based on the amount of times that I discuss it and recommend it and things like that, and I think it has a wide appeal, probably Semantic Error. As far as like, that's the one I pull out of my pocket. That's the one I've shared that with my husband, and he really enjoyed it. Like, it's just a really... I recommended it randomly to someone that I know doesn't even watch Asian dramas. They were just really into Heartbreaker. So I was like, hey, if you want like college age Korean, like check this out. And because I feel like it's to that level.
Yeah.
I feel like people that are just into Heartbreaker because it's cute, I think could handle Semantic Error just as well. Like, I'm not saying they don't have exactly the same vibe or anything, but I still think it's a really good, like how you were kind of mentioning earlier, Natalia, as far as if someone's just ignorant or hasn't been exposed to that many gay people in their life, or just that's kind of foreign feeling to them, just exposing like, here's people living life,
being gay, well, being bi in this case, but living life, being a chaotic bisexuals.
The Ask Chris drama that I will throw in there is going to be Pachinko. Go check out when we discuss Pachinko, because that came out this year, and it's excellent. It is excellent. Yes.
I could not, for the life of me, figure out what I thought you were saying. Pitching go, and I was like, when did we talk about this? Like baseball drama,
sports drama. What are we talking about?
And I will say personally, as far as Alchemy of Souls, I'm not done with it. That's why it's not picked, but it probably will be on.
That was high on my list. That was high on my list
because that just hits all the Sky things.
Let's just say, if I hadn't picked The Devil Judge as being my Korean pick of the year, it would have been Alchemy of Souls. But yes, there is our 2022 recap. Yay! This is a long episode. Thank you for hanging with us. Hopefully we made your day a little brighter with our drama talk. If you want to listen to more of our drama talk, we're pretty much everywhere podcast can be found, but you can also listen to every single one of our episodes on YouTube. You can go subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we also do a live stream. We have a good time. We have a good time on YouTube. And also, you can go to our website, certifiednoonas.com, where we have links to everything we talk about and time codes if you're curious, like, wow, I wonder at what point they talk about this drama. I'd like to listen to that again. Well, it'll tell you. It'll be there. Anyway, not every single drama. Whew, that would be a long podcast. Every single podcast we've ever done is up there on certifiednoonas.com for you to listen to at your leisure. If you would like to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join our certified found family, our family on the web who keep the lights on in this little hovel business that we've got going on, this little podcast home. And we also have monthly movie nights, and also they get special privileges on the Discord, because you should be on our free to join Discord. It's open to anyone who likes to talk dramas, music, life, whatever. You can find it on the old Discord. Anyway, we hope you had a fun time listening to our 2022 recap. And as we say at the end of every podcast, there are immunocompromised people, myself included, living out in the world, and there's a lot of, the pandemic, as much as we all wish it was over, ain't, and all these respiratory diseases flying around, so please wash your hands, wear a mask, and as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.